More than 100,000 ethnic Armenians living in Karabakh have fled the region after it was recaptured by Azerbaijan. Only a small fraction remain. That's despite Azerbaijan's assurances that they will be integrated as equal citizens. Well, Al Jazeera secured exclusive access to the deserted city of Khankendi. Osama bin Javed reports.
If it weren't for the trot, there would be complete silence. Even animals here have gone quiet. Khankendi, which Armenians call Stepanakert, has been deserted. Nearly everyone is gone after ethnic Armenian leaders agreed with Azerbaijan that the so-called state of Artsakh will cease to exist. And it feels everyone just got up and left. Strewn with whatever people couldn't carry with them, the town centre where thousands had gathered now paints an unreal, eerie scene. The morgue staff left too, so even the dead are being repatriated to Armenia by the Red Cross.
We count to keep on finding other people still stranded for the time being in the city, in the outskirts. And therefore we have another concern, considering that the rural areas haven't been reached yet.
The streets are completely empty. All that you can see here are a scattered few checkpoints on the entrance of Khankendi, Russian peacekeepers inside, and maybe a few soldiers. Here, we've got the last remaining ethnic Armenians.
Gathering at a staging point for those who still want to leave, he says, this is our city. Also a place where those who are staying say goodbye. This ethnic Armenian man hugged the first Azerbaijani he saw. He says, I want to live here with everyone. I have Azerbaijani friends who tell me I shouldn't leave, so I am staying here. The administration says it started a registration center, provided ambulances, revamped mobile networks, and connected the city to the electric grid. But the few people left behind still need urgent care.
If you asked me about the immediate needs, it's certainly to consider power, gas for the winter coming, and water. Now for the outskirts and the other regions, for sure, we have been here for decades, and we look forward to work with the Azerbaijan authorities. We have always been in contact with them.
And in order to have a future, this city will need humans to refill its empty streets. Osama bin Javed, Al Jazeera, Khankendi, Azerbaijan.
Well, we can speak now live to our correspondent Osama bin Javed, who is now live in Baku. Osama, extraordinary to see your piece there and to see what's happened to the city. What is the future of Khankendi, do you think?
Well, according to the government, it wants people to remain who are left. It would like people who've left to come back. There is going to be a reconciliation process, and it wants to rebuild the city to what it calls its former glory 30 years ago. And to discuss that further, we have with us the spokesman for the Foreign Ministry of Azerbaijan, Mr. Ayhan Hajizadeh. Thank you very much for speaking to us. The question remains, we're witnessing scenes of ghost towns, empty cities. What really will happen to this area?
Thank you so much for the question and for your interest to get an interview with me. As you know, for the last 30 years, Azerbaijan has suffered from the occupation, devastation, and around 1 million Azerbaijani population have become the refugees and IDPs and left this region with devastation and sufferings. And now, as a result of the 24 hours anti-terrorism measures taken by Azerbaijan, Azerbaijan has finally restored its sovereignty over the territories, formerly called as Nagorno-Karabakh, and now is the Karabakh region of Azerbaijan. We witnessed a relocation of a certain population of Armenians from the region, but I would like to note that exactly around 30 years ago, Azerbaijanis has left this region that suffered devastation and casualties, a lot of massacres and atrocities committed against Azerbaijanis. Now Azerbaijan has calling against the Armenian population to come back. We are ready to embrace the Armenian population. Yes, some portion of Armenian population are still in Khankendi town and other towns. Currently, Azerbaijan has taken sovereignty over, and Azerbaijan has issued a call against the Armenian population to come and to reintegrate to the Azerbaijani society in line with the constitution and legislation of the Republic of Azerbaijan.
But you see, all of these promises have been heard by people. A lot of people are not willing or agree to believe them yet, and there is a lot of fear. So what measures will the Azerbaijani government take to allay those fears and, like you say, allow Armenians to live side by side with the Azerbaijanis?
You know, for decades, Azerbaijanis and Armenians lived side by side. Azerbaijan is a multi-ethnic country where a lot of ethnicities are living inside Azerbaijan. Around 30,000 Armenians during the conflict time lived in Azerbaijan and now living in Azerbaijan. And we believe that reintegration and reconciliation is possible. For that, Azerbaijan has launched a dialogue with representatives of Armenia. So far, 3 meetings were held between the local Armenians and Azerbaijani central authorities. And Azerbaijan launched the program of reintegration that covers the governance sector, the economy sector, the social sector. And we believe that Armenians should be a part of this reintegration process. And within this particular plan, within the governance plan, within the socio-economic plan, Azerbaijan is will provide to the local Armenians loans and social benefits to the local Armenians to live side by side with the Azerbaijanis in this particular region. And we believe that after that, peace and stability would prevail in the region.
And what immediate steps are being taken? We saw some ambulances in the area. We spoke to the Red Cross workers who say there are going to be urgent needs for the people because there's a winter coming. What will immediately happen? Because this reconciliation process, I imagine, is going to take time.
Indeed, Azerbaijan has launched wide areas of utility building, infrastructure building, but at the same time provides humanitarian assistance to local Armenians. And recently, the medical team has been dispatched to the region and now located in the Khankendi town hospital, where they serve local Armenians who left in the Khankendi town right now. And Azerbaijan is also providing humanitarian assistance to the local population, local Armenians. And at the same time, we call on the Armenians who left the region, who relocated to Armenia, to return back. And we are ready to embrace them, and we promise them the better livelihood than they were when they were the part of the military junta established in the territories of Azerbaijan.
And very quickly, what will happen now on the international front? Because we've heard concerns raised by European countries, some other Western powers as well have criticized Azerbaijan for the way it handled things. What will happen on the international front? Because you've got 3 separate tracks, one with the US, one with Europe, and one with Russia to reconcile differences with Armenia.
You know, Azerbaijan, following the 44-day war, has launched peace efforts and peace initiatives, including opening up the communication, demarcation of the borders, but at the same time, most importantly, the peace agreement with Armenia. So far, multiple meetings were held between the foreign ministers of Azerbaijan and Armenia, but at the same time, they were facilitation efforts by the EU Commission, EU Council President Charles Michel, with participation of the Germany Chancellor, but at the same time France President. But at the same time, there were facilitation efforts by the Russian side and the United States side. So these efforts are welcomed by Azerbaijan, but at the same time, Azerbaijan initiated the peace efforts, and we believe that peace is possible in the region with the real backing up the respect to the sovereignty and territorial integrity of both countries, Armenia and Azerbaijan. And Azerbaijan is willing to continue this effort so that peace would prevail in the region.
Karabakh and many parts of it now look deserted, ghost towns. places without souls. How long, in your estimate, will it take for people to actually return and rebuild their lives?
As I've mentioned, Azerbaijanis left this region in devastation almost 30 years ago. Currently, Azerbaijan has launched enormous campaign of reconstruction and rebuilding of the region. And there are multiple projects. I would like to mention 2 international airports have been established in Zangilan and the Fizuli town of Azerbaijan. There is a building of Lachen International Airport. There are huge projects currently ongoing in the region, and we believe that despite the fact that the landmine threat is still on the ground, Azerbaijan is taking a lot of measures in order to local population, Azerbaijanis and Armenians, to return and to live